I will say this though, when you do lose weight, I think those compliments do feel good because of how hard you work to get to that point, right?
Yeah.
But when somebody starts to gain weight back a little bit, they gain a little weight or something like that, I do understand, because I see a lot of posts on how it affects them. And I'll see like certain friends of mine, they'll delete these comments because it makes them feel bad, because now you're starting to like, what was the point? You're the same person that complimented on the weight loss, but now that they gain some weight, they go, oh, look at you, you're getting fat again. What is the point of that shit? Also, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cheers.
Cheers.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. I am your host, David So, with a wine glass of vino. And I got my co-host today, Ed Park.
With the vodka.
With a little bit of vodka. That's the only alcohol you drink.
Yeah, I got into just non-sugary, just clear drinks, especially when I got into keto. I learned that vodka was alcohol you can actually drink on keto.
For real?
Yeah. So
you're not doing keto anymore.
I'm not, actually. I've gained like 15 pounds.
It's good.
It says a little bit about how I feel about myself. I actually feel chubby.
Really?
Yeah.
You look great.
I know. I hear that. I hear that. That's part of my weird mentality, because I've been 140, 145 for the past 3 years now.
Yeah.
And then to be like 160 now, I feel a little chubby.
It's crazy. You don't look like you're 160. But you've always been thicker.
I have.
Like your chest is really big. You know
I have
what I
a
mean?
big back. And
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, thank God I don't have to do leg day, you know?
Because you look the same size as my brother, but my brother's 145.
Wow.
But you guys look similar in size.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't guess that you're 160 at all. That's actually kind of shocking to me.
Yeah. Because, that's another thing. I'm like eating a lot of Korean pear.
Uh-huh.
I fucking love that shit. You know, I haven't had it in years. I'm I'm going to eat this, but it's still too much sugar. I think that's what's contributing to it. But then I got to be more comfortable in my skin, be like, this is a normal weight, 160. Yeah.
What made you quit keto?
When we started doing like kickboxing, whatever, like I was trying to get more fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have more strength. But you fucking beat the shit out of me because I had no gas.
Yeah.
On keto, like I was like, my fucking knees felt like newborn deer.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were just shaking and I had no balance in my feet. I had no energy to do like a fucking 20-minute workout, you know? And I was realizing, shit, like being lethargic and keto go really well because you can do nothing and burn fat.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I'm dying.
Yeah, but when you start working out, you're like there's
it's double time.
No energy. Yeah. So I was like, fuck, if I actually want to work out, okay, got to introduce some carbs, but I'm eating too much candy and shit, like too much chocolate, like on the side, too much bullshit.
That's so funny. But you moderate your food pretty well though.
I tried to. I mean, I can still eat like a big boy.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Like every time I go to like Panda Express, I can kill that entire one serving that they give.
You know what's crazy too? You know, with the topic about when we talk about weight loss. So I was in Hawaii for a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eating whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah.
Just a savage. Like, if there was food, I was going to eat it. It didn't matter. I didn't eat when I was hungry. I ate because I wanted to.
Because you could.
Yeah, that's it. Right? Because the options are so many.
There's a musubi right there.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're just gonna leave it?
Exactly. We would eat, and my brother went too. My best friend Gabo was there. Abe was there, and we were just having a good time.
Nice.
I gained like 8 pounds in a matter of 7 days. Easy shit.
Yeah, that's decent.
I'll tell you this though, I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
I felt fucking terrible. Like had heartburn. I woke up feeling like shit every day.
It's probably because like you're all swollen from eating and you're getting that fucking sleep apnea.
Yeah, it's just all this shit just compounds. You know, when I look back at how big I was, right, and when that discomfort was so fucking normalized, we made this joke. It's like, dude, I didn't know you're not supposed to have diarrhea every day. You know?
Yeah.
It's just that's how people poop. You know? But you get so used to being uncomfortable that uncomfortable, healthy, lethargic feeling that you get from being so out of shape and being really overweight becomes your norm. And I didn't know that it was my norm until I lost the weight. And then now that during pandemic, I've gained I was like pre-pandemic, I was like maybe 205 pounds. I'm like 224 right now.
Right.
So I gained like 19 pounds. I feel it.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more lethargic. I wore a jacket yesterday because it's getting a little cold. I thought I could fit it. Does not fit.
Damn, jackets are usually supposed to be like that big, comfy.
Yeah, because I remember I had this Obey jacket. It's like a puffer jacket. It's my winter jacket. And I put it on, and usually it has a little space in it.
Yeah.
This shit, I look like a grenade. Bro, that shit.
This shit's about to just
It's
blow.
about to burst. I'm like, holy shit, this shit doesn't fit. And it's true, though. I think because we're so used to being big our whole lives, I don't really think about how much it fucks with our self-esteem a lot, right? And it's one of those things that I think I offset me feeling not great about myself for being a fatter guy with my humor. I was always allowed to be funny, and we're such goofy guys.
Yeah. I mean, and that's one of the things I like to carry with me now that I'm this way. Like, I was just looking at my old fat photos because I was feeling fat. Mm-hmm. So I know what'll make me feel better if I look at my old fat photos.
Yeah, let me show you what really fat looks like.
Yeah, I'm not that anymore. Yeah, but yeah, for sure. Like I carry some of those insecurities with me, even though I'm like way beyond that now. But then I'll feel a certain way when someone, says, oh, you look like you're filling in now. Like, what?
Yeah. But for them, it's a compliment.
Yeah, it's a compliment because actually everyone was saying I look too gaunt, like scrawny.
Yeah.
Like that's when it hit a different bone. Like, okay, I like when people call me skinny, but if you call me scrawny,
fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, dude.
But this is the odd thing too, and I hear this a lot, and it's funny because I read this quote from Jonah Hill, and Jonah Hill was like, "Don't mention anything about my weight. Don't say that I lost weight because I look better when I'm skinny, and don't mention that when I'm fat. Just don't fucking talk about my weight.
Yeah,
it doesn't make me feel good, either or.
Right.
Just leave it alone."
Because he can only be in control of what is, right? Where he's at.
Well, people always have to make a comment about somebody's weight. And I wonder what that is, right? Because I get it. I think it all the time.
Yeah.
When I see some of these YouTubers, I haven't seen them in a while, and they fucking explode. Like they're huge. In my mind, I'm like, holy fuck. Yeah. But I don't say it out loud. I don't write it in comments. You don't need to write. I just want to ask when people write that out in public, what is your objective? Is it, there is an objective when we have action things, right? Is it to make this person feel bad that they gain weight? And some people are like, well, I just want to know that I care and I want them to be healthier. That's not what it is. You wrote that comment so people can thumbs up your fucking thing and say, oh, I also noticed this person got too skinny or too fat. That's what you're looking for, but you're not doing it because you care about that person. Yeah. The objective of what you're doing is to glorify yourself and your stupid fucking unnecessary comment.
Yeah. Like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm a health freak. I do diets too. And
it's not even that. It's the fattest fucking people that write that shit. Literally the fattest fucking people on earth.
I call that fat-splaining.
Yeah.
Yo, when I lost all that weight, trust me, there's so many people still giving me unsolicited advice about losing weight. Like, bro, I'm skinnier than you now.
Yeah.
Don't fucking tell me how to lose weight.
Like, be fucking quiet. Also, too, like, that's why I do understand when people get annoyed when people make weight comments, right? And I read it all the time, but it's kind of like, it doesn't matter to me. Maybe it's because, I've done stand-up and stuff. So getting booed off stage is one of the worst feelings you could ever feel. Having somebody tell me that I'm fat when I know I'm fat. Yeah. It's like telling me the fucking sky is blue.
Right. Like, and that's the whole thing. Like, I fucking know. Yeah. I know. You don't got to mention it to me, right? But there's another end of the spectrum too. Like, there was a time when I didn't know it when I was fat.
Same here. I know.
Yeah, because at the same time, the other end of that spectrum being that people are too polite and they don't mention it, right? And actually in your head, you don't even know how fat you're getting. Yeah. But that's hilarious because there was actually a time you actually weighed less than me. Yeah. And you had to we sat down for lunch and you'd be like, hey man, you fat, bro. Like, you're telling me that I had to do something.
You're like 240 pounds.
Yeah.
I was like,
holy shit. Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's another funny story. So Dumb and Zoe came to Seattle, right? And I went to the show and I went backstage to see them. And they hadn't seen me for a couple of years. And I had just lost all this weight. And if you don't know this about Dumb, he's the most nicest, encouraging person you'll ever meet. Like, he will hype you up like so much.
He's the opposite of me.
Yeah. He made me feel so good about myself because he's like, yo, I've seen your progress, da 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 da. And then Zoe walks into the room. He goes, holy fucking, is that Ed? You used to be so fucking fat. And Tom's like, I wasn't trying to say that, but damn.
That's fucking funny, dude. Zoe's the best, dude.
Yeah. He's the
funny.
most talented DJ I know.
Yeah, he's so fucking good, dude. That's
so
hella funny. But you would get all these comments about, I will say this though, when you do lose weight, I think those compliments do feel good because of how hard you work to get to that point, right?
Yeah.
But when somebody starts to gain weight back a little bit, they gain a little weight or something like that, I do understand, because I see a lot of posts on how it affects them. And I'll see like certain friends of mine, they'll delete these comments because it makes them feel bad, because now you're starting to like, what was the point? You're the same person that complimented on the weight loss, but now that they gain some weight, they go, oh, look at you, you're getting fat again. What is the point of that shit? Also, too, when I click into your profile, you're the most disgusting fuck I've ever seen in my life. Shut the fuck up. Leave these people alone.
Yeah.
And for me, I always have to go to bat and defend these people and tell these people to shut the fuck up, because I know how much it affects them, because they tell me.
It has to be the right person, right?
Yeah.
Like when Bart tells me, then I'd be like, yeah, oh shit.
Yeah.
Gotta do something about that.
Yeah.
Right?
And they're like, well, I'm trying to help you. Who are you in my life to go ahead and say that shit?
Yeah.
You're nobody in my life. If you fucking died tomorrow, I wouldn't shed a tear. So leave those things where you're saying you're trying to help me. You'll never help me.
Yeah, it's a weird conundrum, because what if someone said that to you too?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're looking a little chubby.
Like every day I go into your DMs, I'm like, bro, I can't believe how do you breathe? You fat fuck.
Yeah.
When you lay down, doesn't your lungs collapse with fucking Twinkies and lard, you fat piece of shit?
Yeah.
I care about you.
I'm only saying this because I care.
Because I fucking love you.
But then why do I feel so terrible when you say it?
It's a weird thing, right? And that was stuff that I had to navigate when I was younger. Like I see it all the time, right? There was one comment though that had me fucking dying, only because of how much it affected me. And I was telling Tim about this, but we did a video together, and somebody writes like, hey, David looks like he's gaining some weight. I'm really concerned. Like, how are things going on in his life? Can you ask him? And I read that shit and I was like, that shit hurt a little bit. Because it sounded too real, Like,
wait, do I even know you?
This person fucking cares too much. Yeah. This shit hurt my feelings, man. It's like, have I gained that much weight? And I gained like 19 pounds or so.
Yeah.
But for me too, once again, it's all activity based. Like if I wanted to lose weight, I'm going to lose it again. But all these celebrities too, they get scrutinized so much. It doesn't matter. You can't fucking win. Because we could talk about Adele. Adele, no matter what she does, and we know I mentioned this about Lizzo too, or any of these like larger female artists, because women get the most shit when it comes to weight loss.
For how they look.
It's basically, it's what their value is based on so fucking much. Because a guy can be fat and funny and he's fine, but if a girl's fat and funny, it's like, oh, she's not cute. Like,
the weirdest thing too is like, let's say Lizzo lose a shit ton of weight. There's going to be some haters like, oh, I only jacked off to you because you're big.
No, Adele, she got a bunch of shit because she lost a lot of weight and she was doing it for her personal reasons.
Because like bigger, white women were like, you represented me.
Yeah. Who the fuck said that was her responsibility? Right? Who the fuck said?
You were the big confident girl and whatever. Now she's the skinny confident girl.
And the thing that I always see the most, and once again, this is coming from somebody who's still overweight, that this shit always cracks me up, is when somebody who is unhealthy, they always use this example. They go, well, just because you're skinny doesn't mean that you're healthy. 100%.
Sure.
However, when you're morbidly obese,
there's
100% you're not healthy.
Yeah, there's no such thing of fucking being big and healthy.
Yeah, like the morbidly obese and healthy, right? Like you're 100 pounds overweight and you're still like, I still work out. It doesn't mean that you're healthy. And I'm coming from a point where I had got blood work done. I had all this stuff done. I had the whole body mass index scanner thing done. I did all that shit. I know where I was at physically, and it wasn't good. You know, so I don't need you to tell me that I'm healthy.
It's the fat acceptance logic,
yeah,
right? Where it just goes on the, oh, let's go anti the fat shaming, but then you can't like do opposite day on some of the fact-based criticisms.
Yeah,
right. Like, okay, I can understand like beauty being subjective, right? So a big girl being beautiful,
100% agree.
Yeah, agreed, right? Beauty in the eye of the beholder. But then be like, no, she's healthy or they're healthy. It's like, no,
yeah,
I'm sorry. No,
it's a simple matter of this. It's like I kind of rash back to what I was saying before. If you feel like somebody who is not healthy, that they're fat and you feel that way, how about you shut the fuck up and keep it to yourself?
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
You don't know these people personally, where you can affect their life, where you can make them, in your mind, make them change for the better in terms of health, shut the fuck up. Don't talk about them.
I'll tell you though, I did a little Q&A while I was losing all that weight. So I had finally hit my 100-pound loss like goal. And then I did a Q&A and they were like, what motivated you to work out? It's like resentment. I thought about all those motherfuckers that made fun of me for being fat, and I was like, I'll fucking show you, bitches. Like,
yeah.
That was part of the big. It's like, let's say, like I when I was doing my fasts, like really hard. I would think about like people giving me shit for being fat, but B, I would also like grab my tit, tell my body, look, there's so much energy right here. This fat right here, this is reserves. I grab my stomach, I'll grab the back of my back right here, be like, this is energy. Eat this.
Right? Yeah. No. That's fucking funny. But it's crazy how much that stuff starts to affect your psyche, right?
Yeah.
You just never know. We either mask it with humor or we do something else with it. And it's just a weird place to be in, like mentally.
It developed our great personalities.
Yeah.
Right? You know, when I finally lost that weight, it's like, hey, now I have great personality and a rocking body.
It's hard though, losing weight, you know?
No, it's the addiction part of it, right? There's a mental state of mind. Like when you're saying all these people telling you you're fat and all these things, like where you got to go to the doctor, you know, and talk to a guy who's going to like let you know, bro, you're morbidly obese. Yeah. Right. That's someone like you would listen to, right? Not all the noise and all the comments and all that shit in the air, but it's like you yourself have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, this ain't right.
It's funny too. I read this comment where, you know, I mentioned this and they go, well, somebody, David, is as a person who was really overweight, you should understand you were active when you were bigger. Like, were you considered unhealthy even though you could do all the stuff that all these, you know, physically fit people could do? I was like, my knees are fucked up. I lost all the cartilage in my fucking knees because of me playing basketball at that weight. Yeah. So no, you're wrong. I was suffering consistently. Back pain, lower back pain, knee pain, joint pain. It was all fucked. I had heartburn every fucking night.
And you just thought it was normal.
Yeah. Right? I had acid reflux. I would just sit and all of a sudden acid would gurgle out of my throat. Yeah. And I'm just like, it's a Monday.
Oh, it's because, you know, Sunday cheat day, even though every day is cheat day.
Exactly. You know, like I said, we would consistently just normalize this pain all the time. So I don't need people to tell me that I should feel good about being fat and I'm still a good person. I never said that I was a bad person because I was fat. I'm telling you, I didn't feel good. And once again, if you're big and you like being big, I don't give a fuck. Whatever the fuck you want. Like I said, my opinion in space about what you do with your body doesn't fucking matter. And I will never write a comment on your page in your personal life and tell you that you're fat, overweight, or disgusting. Because number one, none of my business. Number two, I don't care. Yeah. Right. I mind my own business when it comes to that stuff. So at the end of the day, when I make comments about how I felt, for somebody to come and insert their opinion about how I should feel about my weight and tell me that, oh, you were still an awesome person. I never fucking said I wasn't. Yeah. Why the fuck do you keep like mixing those two things together?
And that's one of the problems. Like, you're never going to give them that affirmation because there are these other big people looking at a big influencer and be like, hey, I'm fine, right? Mm-hmm. When they're not going to expect you to be like, no. You're not, right? And like, because you know, you're not fucking liars. Yeah. Right. But the other part too is like when we don't really, like I was saying earlier, like we don't see it for ourselves, us being fat, like until we have to get our own reality check. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the weird part, right? When the moment that you realize that you're not healthy, and then you have to make this change. It was very difficult. I just remember I just remember how short-tempered I was when I was trying to withdraw from all the foods that I was addicted to. Yeah. Like an excessive amount of fat, an excessive amount of carbs. And if I didn't have it, I would throw a tantrum. Like a baby. And I think that was the part that bothered me the most is that I couldn't control my urge just not to eat an excessive amount of sugars and carbohydrates. Yeah. And like an excessive amount, because I still eat what I want now. I just do it in moderation and I'm a lot better with it. So like, for example, I was in Hawaii. I came back, I was 228 pounds. It's been about 4 days. I'm back down to 240, 224. Okay. So, and that's just all bloat. That's all this other shit. And I'm back to exercising and I feel better now. Well, it's still hard because I got so addicted to eating these foods. Even when it made me feel bad, I wanted to eat more of it. It is a literal fucking addiction for you to do something that you know is killing you, but it still makes you feel good, even though you feel bad. What kind of shit is that?
God, I can't think about the times about, like, I get embarrassed when I think of all those hangry moments over food. Like, I threw a massive fucking tantrum at church once, right? Because so they have, after in Korean church, after service, there's a big
spread
meal
of food.
for everyone, right? It's usually always Korean food, but then there was another food line run by, because like I said, in Tacoma, there's a lot of Army vets that go to Korean churches with their Korean wives, right? And they serve the American food, like hamburgers, hot dogs, and that stuff. So one time I was in line, and there was a girl in front of me, and I was the last person in line, right? There was 2 hot dogs left. And she bought both hot dogs, even though there's us 2 left in the line. I was like, there's enough for both of us. She got 2 hot dogs, and I was so angry. I went back and I grabbed a chair and I threw it across the room. My friends are eating their hot dogs. Like, what the fuck is your problem?
That is the fattest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life, bro.
I was so
that shit is
angry.
Hilarious.
And think about that kind of hangry, though.
And then you look at her, you're like, hey, can I get your number?
I like your style. I like the way you move.
I like if I was you, I also would have got 2 hot dogs.
Yo, I threw a massive tantrum. But speaking of the other thing you were talking about, I don't think people realize that Fat David and Skinny David is still the same fucking person.
Yeah, just one's gonna live longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I sometimes feel like people look at me as 2 different people now because there was that guy they knew that was big and fat, and then now I'm this. But I'm like, I'm still the same Edward, right? But at the same time, I would also get this sense of like this identity crisis. Like I stopped wanting to be known as that guy who lost 100 pounds. There was something about it that made me be like, let me distance myself from weight loss now. Let me just be me, right? Because people always want to be like, that's the guy that does keto. I'm the keto guy, or that's the weight loss guy, or whatever. And then what happens? Like hundreds of people get so many DMs asking me how to lose weight. Yeah. Right. And like,
he's just like,
I don't know. I suffered and I Googled. Yeah. But okay, here's another funny story. So, do you know what Subtle Asian Traits is? It's a Facebook group, millions of people in it. It's about this Asian culture.
Okay.
Like, Black people have Black people Twitter.
Yeah.
Asians are on Facebook.
Okay.
It's called Subtle Asian Traits. Well, there was an offshoot of that group called Subtle Asian Dating, right? So I jumped into that too, right? And it's hilarious memes about Asian people dating, but people also auction themselves. They have photos of themselves and they tell their pros and cons and they introduce themselves. It's kind of like dating on Facebook. Yeah. Right? So I'm out there in the sticks running the grocery store. I ain't got nothing to do. I have a 6-pack and I'm not impressing these methods. Yeah. So I go ahead and I post myself into that spot. It goes fucking viral. I get like 11,000 likes on that shit, right? But all of my DMs, dudes asking me how I lost weight.
That's hella funny, dude.
I didn't get any girls like hitting me up for anything.
That's so fucking funny. It was
all these other fat Asian dudes like, Hyung, how do you do it? This fucking group is bullshit. Yeah,
I can get a single girl. That group is literally all face. That's what you found out. It's all guys are on this.
It's all guys like thirsting, and then like I know all the secrets.
That's fucking. You know what the thing is, too, guys. Like, just as a heads up, right? You losing weight is not going to help you get a girl. You're just going to be the same person with low self-esteem, has a terrible image of yourself because you're tackling the wrong issues. Why do you feel the way that you do? Yeah, it probably does have to stem from your self-esteem because of your weight, but then there's so much to work on after that because there's baggage with that. Yeah.
I mean, part of our grade, we've been friends for like 10 years now.
Yeah, long time.
Like we were 2 big guys full of confidence. Yeah. we knew who we were. Yeah. And we knew who we weren't. Yeah. And if you see guys who carry insecurity with them when like they lose weight, you can get hookups. for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But damn it, like if you don't work anything out about who you are and your personality and your insecurities and all that, long-lasting relationships, good luck.
It's
right?
hard.
It can happen. It can happen. It's hard.
They think the weight loss thing is like a cure for their personality, and it's not.
It's not.
There's so much things you have to work about. It's the same thing with those guys or girls who try to mask their insecurities or the inadequacies that they have with their personality traits with money, right? Oh, you thought I was a loser in high school? Well, guess what? I got this high 6-figure paying job now. That's funny. Now you're a loser with money.
Yeah. It's like, does that make you any more approachable?
Exactly. You're still the fucking dweeb that nobody wants to talk to because you're socially awkward as fuck. Yeah. You being broke had nothing to do with the fact that people didn't want to be around you. It had everything to do with the fact that you're fucking weird as shit. You don't know how to talk to people and you're awkward as hell.
Right.
You focused on the wrong things. You thought money was going to fix it. You thought that the weight loss was going to fix, your social inadequacies. It had nothing to do with any of that stuff.
Yeah.
If you're a dope person, people will gravitate towards that shit all the time. When they say work on yourself, I really do believe too, a lot of the reasons why people fail to lose weight is because they're kind of, the weight is like the tertiary issue. There's a reason why that you're overweight. There's a reason why that you cope with a lot of your terrible emotions with food.
Oh yeah. I mean, one of the biggest factors to get me to start losing weight before seeing the doctors or anything was therapy. Why am I fat? Why do I not think I should be skinny? Why am I depriving myself of a long life? Right? Why am I allowing myself to die in my 40s or 50s?
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm asking for, because I mean, I'm smoking Juuls now, e-cigarettes, but I was a heavy smoker, pack or two a day, and fat as fuck. Like there was a lot of factors in these things that with my behavior and my habits that I wasn't even addressing. Like, why am I this big to begin with?
Yeah.
That's the first thing you have to tackle before you give yourself permission, allow yourself now to go through the hardness. You can call it suffering. You can call it fucking self-abuse or what. I don't give a fuck. But it's what it takes to lose weight. You just have to do a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
You know?
And I say this to the people the most who consistently talk about their weight and they always verbally have to say, I don't care that I'm fat. I don't care that I'm fat. You clearly do because you've said it so many times. And I say that because I know what it feels like because I was there too. It always did bother me. Not so much what people would say about me, but it bothered me that I just didn't feel good and I would do nothing about it. And I'd always say, and I would always throw it off with jokes or whatever. But at the end of the day, I have to live with my choices. Nobody's going to help me get healthier. I just have to do it. And if I keep on stacking it with excuses of, well, there are big people who are large. Like look at sumo wrestlers. They're athletes. Doesn't mean they're not going to die and doesn't mean they don't have diabetes, bitch.
Yeah.
People always use that sumo wrestler thing. Like I'm supposed to be proud of it. They go, dude, David, but sumo wrestlers are athletes. Yeah, they're fat fucking athletes.
Yeah, they're not healthy. They're not in great position. Yeah,
they're not healthy. Yeah, they're athletes. Strong.
Yes, like big fat people are strong too. Like the reason why my legs are so big is because I was carrying 100 pounds every day for years. Yeah. Right. But yeah, there's strength that comes with being big, but that's not healthy at all.
Yeah. And it's always, like I said too, it's always the guy that says like, hey, let me give you an example of this guy who did triathlons and he's morbidly obese. Cool. Are you?
Yeah, 1 in a billion.
It's like, are you though? Are you the guy that's a triathlete that's swimming in a fucking salt in an ocean, popping out on a bike, biking for 30 miles, and then coming out perfectly fine? No, you're the guy that's sitting there talking about the guy that's doing that, not feeling good about yourself. I'm talking about health wise and also mentally.
And
right?
also, could they even do a fucking triathlon?
Yeah. So don't speak for that guy. That guy can speak for himself. He has the body of work to show that he's healthy and he has the metrics for it.
And do those people say, if I can do it, you can do it too? I think those people know that they're 1 in a billion.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because even for me, like the reason why I stopped giving weight loss advice is because I swear to God, 99% of people I've given advice to haven't lost weight.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like,
well, they want a quick solution.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to happen.
So when I tell them my method, which is absolutely nuts, don't do what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I had to realize, that I did very extreme binary tactics to have to lose weight. Although it was scientifically correct, I went through a lot of hardness, right? And I had to realize not everyone can do it. A lot of people will look at it as suffering, while I in my suffering, I was grabbing my tits, saying there's enough fat here to live off of. No,
also, too, you're secluded from humanity.
Right. Yeah. It's not like I didn't have anyone to support me or help me at all. I had to do it on my own. And I had that attitude now, like, I can't help you because A, I'm super fucking far away, but this is on your own discipline. This is your own accountability. Like, no one was there to support me to do anything.
Yeah.
Any of it at all.
Yeah.
I had to do it on myself because I needed my own self-realization. I had to be real with myself.
I'll tell you this, easy come, easy go is what always happens. I know you are only 2 out of maybe, I say like, definitely over 10 people who've done keto that was successful. Right. And you're the only one that I know that did keto that stayed successful. Yeah. The only one.
Whoa. Okay.
So,
well, I feel good about myself now. All right.
So, other people who have done keto, they kind of lost the weight and they kept some of it off, but they blew right the fuck back up right after, because easy come, easy go. Because it's a very hard lifestyle to keep up. Yeah. And once again, you did the homework and you found the reason to why you were so addicted to being overweight and unhealthy in the first place. So it kind of puts you in a good space to be at, right? A lot of everybody else, if they don't find the reason why, they're always going to go back to the thing that's the easiest, which is to eat again. This podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. If you haven't focused on your mental health this year, now is the time to start. Listen, we've all been cooped up, tense, and honestly, we know the importance of our mental health. So let's stop pushing our thoughts and emotions aside and start feeling again, my friends. Listen, if you haven't tried therapy and you want to give it a go, give BetterHelp a try. It'll assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist, and you don't have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room, and you can message your counselor at any time while setting up weekly video or phone sessions. It's super convenient and, more importantly, allows you to be in your own safe and comfortable environment. Listen, I've used BetterHelp and it was honestly an amazing experience, and I still use and talk to my counselor till this day. So give it a try and you have nothing to lose. So special offer for Genius Brain listeners, get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/genius. So visit betterhelp.com/genius and get that 10% off and work on that mental health, baby. And because those are the moments of happiness. And when you kind of like identify yourself with, like, for your example, oh, I'm the keto guy, that joy goes away. Yeah. And you're just left with this. It was like, okay, I'm Ed, the guy who lost weight. After that shit goes away, what are you? You're just Ed. Yeah, the theory of desire. Going back to Squid Game. Yeah, go back to Squid Game. Yeah. Now you're just Ed. Yeah. So what now? People stop mentioning, oh, you're the guy that lost weight. Because now they're just like, oh, you're just fit Ed. Yeah. So that attachment of being the guy who lost 100 pounds has gone away now. Now you have to be left with these choices. Who are you now? Yeah. Like, I'm not going around being like, hey, I used to weigh like 100 pounds more. Like, no, I don't want, that doesn't define me either. Like you were saying, like, being fat is not your identity. Yeah. Right. But if you make it your identity, then that's what you live for. Yeah. Right. And so when you lose that part, then what, you got to fill that up with something else. Now I'm the fit, version of me. And what, now everyone has to know that, no, your identity is way more than your condition. Yeah. Right. Because obesity is a condition. Condition means it can change. Yeah. Also, too, even when you lose weight, there'll be times where you're going to gain 10 pounds, you're going to lose 10 pounds, you'll gain 20, lose another 15. Your body's going to fluctuate all the time. And you have to be okay with that. You have to understand too, you can't beat yourself up every time on what your scale says about you, because you're conflating your weight with the value of yourself as a person. And that's the hardest thing to get around with some of these kids. It's just, they're like, oh my God, I gained weight. I gained so much weight. It's like, yeah, you did. You'll just lose it again. I'm okay when people mention that stuff because they're just kind of talking. That's fine. Yeah. But when I see the affect the value of themselves, that's when I get a little bit concerned. And once again, too, it's probably not, it's their fault and not their fault at the same time, because of what other people say about them constantly. Yeah. It's those fucking Instagram comments. It's those YouTube comments. It's those people around your circle talking shit about you because of your weight. And people need to really cut that shit out. And that's why we have these extremes that people come out. We have people who are on the big girl movement because they're so sick of people telling them that they're not beautiful, that they're not worthy because they don't look a certain way. Yeah. And that's why people start to identify who they are with their weight now, because they're fighting back against all this other stupid bullshit. And it goes the opposite way around with those people who are so buff. All they do is talk about how buff they are all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Their identity is linked to like how they look. And
doesn't define you guys. Like, even when I'm growing up in church, everyone knew me as the worship leader guy, right? And I didn't like that. I am so much more than a guy who leads worship every Sunday, right? Then
I'm the guy that does it high.
Yeah. You mentioned that.
I'm not just a worship leader. I do it in a fucking different time zone. In another universe, bro. I praise God and I see him literally.
A hilarious thing too, just tie it in. I smoked weed every day while I lost 100 pounds. So to take off that stigma as Ed the pothead, yeah, I wasn't fucking lazy and laying around or, doing nothing. I lost 100 pounds smoking weed. I was high the whole time.
That's hilarious. You stopped
smoking. Don't tell me I can't praise the Lord high too.
If I could control my munchies, I could praise the Lord high as fuck.
Yeah. And you know what? Depriving myself from the munchies was part of my discipline tactic. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I can fast, I can do whatever, but what if I'm high and I have the munchies really hard? Can I still not eat?
Yeah.
And I proved myself to that, and I saw the results, and I lost weight, and then I had a different outlook on what marijuana was doing for me. I don't smoke as much as I used to, but yeah, there's so many things like in barriers that you can break because of the stigma of what you think about it. Like, especially the stigma of people too afraid to lose weight. Believe it or not, there are people afraid to lose weight.
Yeah.
And that's a big hump that for some people to have to get over because they're not really looking at themselves in the mirror. They're too ashamed to look in the mirror.
I was doing Instagram Live and I was talking to this girl and she's super funny. And it originally started out with relationship advice. Yeah. And I kept talking to her and we could continue this conversation. And then she mentioned something about her weight. She goes, I have a dope ass personality. I'm fat. I know it. And I don't really care. And I was like, well, hold on for a second. I never asked you about your weight.
Yeah.
So why did you feel like it was important for you to bring that up? And she goes, I just feel like people expect me to look a certain way and that I just want to go ahead and fight against it. And I was like, well, let me ask you something. Do you say that because of, are you trying to fight back because of how people make you feel? Or is that because of how you actually feel about yourself?
Yeah.
She got really quiet. She started tearing up.
Yeah, dude. She brought up defense mechanisms before anyone went on the offense.
Yeah, she goes, I'm going to strike you before you strike me, right? Because I wasn't even thinking about that. First of all, we're on FaceTime. I don't know what your body looks like, but it's about how she feels about herself. And I was telling her, hey, if you want to lose weight, at the end of the day, you can only do it if you do it for yourself. It always has to be for yourself. That goes in anything that you do in life, whether it's a career path or relationships or anything else, right? You can't do stuff based on somebody else's agenda.
Yeah.
If it's important for you enough to bring it up in this conversation when nobody mentioned it, it's something that bothers you. And you can't do it because people keep calling you fat or they're making, or your parents, Asian parents do a great job of talking about your weight. Do it because you want to do it. And I guarantee you, if it makes you happy, then you should stick to it. If you're happy being a big girl or a big boy, then you shouldn't have to go ahead and put it on a microphone 24/7. Just be happy in your existence.
Yeah. It's so important not to do it because other people said so.
Yeah.
If you're trying to impress somebody else, it's a lost cause.
You'll fail every fucking time. Or even if you do succeed, you'll bounce right back to your old habits because once that demon's gone, you beat that fucking demon. What are you left with?
Oh yeah, dude. I would wake up in the middle of the night because my mom's praying for me. She has her hand on my belly, praying to God that I need to lose weight.
So, as if God's gonna be like, "Oh shit, my bad."
So guess what happened when I lost all that weight? I had a 6-pack, and I was showing my mom, "Look, Oma, I got a 6-pack." I'm trying to help her because of when she's praying on my fucking belly.
Yeah,
what'd she say? You're too skinny.
Hey, she might.
Yeah, trust me. What other people have to say at the end of the day doesn't fucking matter. Right? It's on you. It's on your standards. It's on your own will. It's on
You'll never be enough
goals.
compared to other people's standards. Yeah. You'll never be smart enough. You'll never be pretty enough. You'll never be successful enough. You'll never have enough money. It doesn't fucking matter, man. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I love going to Hawaii because nobody mentions any of that stuff. I'm a model out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a standard body out there. I'm the prototype Hawaiian, baby.
Yeah.
I'm just a little pale. But when I go out there, just once again to give love and credit to people in Hawaii, like they always do. None of my friends there, they never talk about wealth.
Yeah.
They never talk about what I'm wearing, what I have, what I'm driving. None of that shit. They go, what do you want to eat? Hey, let's go to a beach today.
Yeah.
You know, we hang out, we joke around, we talk about shit, but they never, ever mention about wealth, what we have, houses that we want to buy, the next career move. We don't say any of this shit. They always exist in the now and they appreciate what they have right in front of them.
Ain't no Squid Games in Hawaii.
There's no Squid Game in Hawaii, dude. They go, hey, here's the money. They're like, all right. And they'll probably walk out. That'd be a funny parody like Hawaiian Squid Games. They're just like, hey, get me to a beach, bro. And everybody just hits the no, I'm out button.
Yeah.
You know, there are people in Hawaii, their economic situation sucks, right? There are people in Hawaii right now, if you guys don't know, people who have grown up there their whole lives are being displaced because they can't afford housing out there.
Yeah. Because
it's so fucking expensive. And I know this right now because I'm looking to rent a place out there because I'm planning to open up a business, right? I want to rent a spot. Dude, the rent out there is like LA prices, but they have the shittiest pay out there.
Yeah.
You know? So now, like when I open up this business, I want to gear it towards locals. They're going to get the Kama'aina discount. If you don't know what Kama'aina is, like Kama'aina is like local discount, right? And we want to, for me, because I deal with like, I'm dealing with a lot of like community outreach and marketing. I want to donate, if we do really well and successful, donate our drinks, our time, do a lot of charity work out there too, because people don't understand that these people have to work their asses off. Sometimes, most of the times, actually work 2 jobs just to stay in their house.
Yeah, all these outsiders are coming in, buying up all the real estate.
Yeah,
you know, like that whole fucking deal with Mark Zuckerberg buying all those acres of land and all that.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're literal displacement.
Yeah, like what's the point, Zuckerberg? Why the fuck would you buy all that fucking land?
Yeah,
like what's the point, dude? You fucking weirdo fuck.
Yeah, what use does he have to do for it? You're a fucking robot. You don't need any of that.
With your shit fucking Chinese, dude. Hey, dude, we're Earth shit. You fucking Chinese sucks, bro. I don't care what you say. And you know when Facebook crashed recently too?
Oh shit, yeah.
I didn't know. I was in Hawaii. I could give a fuck less.
Yeah.
I was chilling out there. And then I guess when it came back on, I didn't know it came back on because I wasn't looking at my phone.
Yeah.
And people were like, dude, everybody's freaking out because Instagram was gone and now it's back. And Facebook lost millions and millions of dollars. And I forgot, it was like for a few hours.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know how many hours it was, but it wasn't a whole day and it was a few hours. Everybody was freaking the fuck out, which kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Says a lot.
It says a
lot about our society.
Yeah. I'm talking about people who don't use this for a living. And even if you did use Facebook and Instagram for a living, 3-4 hours did nothing to you.
Yeah.
Like personally, it did a lot to the company because of ad revenue and everything else. But to you personally, for you guys to freak the fuck out because you couldn't post the acai bowl that you were having this morning, you fucking loser. And I you fucking sheepseki loser. Yeah. Like, you know why you're a loser? Because you're a fucking loser.
Like there's just so much to do. There's so much other things to do. Like how were you spending your days?
And it made me feel weird because it wasn't like, oh shit, Instagram is down. And they were like, oh, I'll just go do something else. It was, what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah, what do I do instead of doing something else? Like,
what the fuck am I going to do? I can't watch another white person make popki from Squid Game. I can't. What am I supposed to do here? I can't watch somebody do a backflip off a wall. Like,
yeah, I don't understand it. Like the conspiracy part of me just wants to think that they're just like Facebook, Instagram shills trying to be like, it's such a big deal that it's down, but it's for real. Like the regular ass people's lives crumble because Instagram and
that's
Facebook's
the weird
down.
thing. I think that's the word though. It crumbled.
Yeah.
Why did it crumble for you? Even if you did make a living off of brand deals, 3-4 hours didn't affect your livelihood at all. It's not like Instagram was never going to come back up.
It's not like the people paying for those brands were freaking out just as much as you were.
Yeah.
You know, like, but your life goes on, it goes down. It could be part of our social media generation exaggerating exactly how much we feel
maybe
about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I literally died. How are you fucking talking to me right now?
Yeah.
You literally died?
And then the moment that it went back up, you went straight to Twitter and Instagram to tell people how crazy you felt that it wasn't there.
Yeah.
It's a reflection on you. It's not just an app anymore. It's an integral part of your life that if you don't have it, you cannot exist, which is so sad, right?
Yeah.
And no matter how many times people say this or talk about it, it's now a part of our society. It is who you are now. It is an identity thing now.
Yeah. I've posted one photo in the last 4 months, right?
Yeah.
And I used to be that guy that posted multiple times a day.
Yeah.
You know, back when it first started. And then I started seeing it like, oh, like social media is like video games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like if I don't play like RPGs online, but then some of those games are like actual entire worlds on their own, right?
Yeah.
Their own little universes.
Oh, that's right.
Right. But social media in itself is also a giant universe of its own, right? And
so it is the world exploding.
Yeah, it's that world exploding, not the world exploding, right? So I get it though, but those are people investing their entire lives or their brains and their thought processes into that second life. Trust me, it's your second life. It's not your life here in our reality, looking at each other, interacting with it, working, breathing, eating, living, sleeping, right? For some reason, some people get lost in their social media. Like that is their life.
When I watched that Chappelle special and he said something so profound, it was very simple, right? And I'm pretty sure many people have said this before, but he just goes, I don't give a fuck. Twitter's not real.
You're right.
I was like, oh shit. Big facts.
Yeah.
It's not real. And people think that everything that on Twitter is real.
Yeah.
It's not. Like a small percent of the population actually uses social media in that type of way.
Right.
Most people don't.
Well, we forget like Twitter, Facebook, and all that shit. For me, in my memory, everything, all the social media got huge in 2007, right? That was like, that around that time was when I remember everybody was getting on Facebook. Everybody was getting on this and that social media or whatever. But think about how old kids are these days from that time. They've only known life with social media, right? I don't think there seems to be a lot of people who forget that there was a life without it before.
I like what one of Mariel's cousin does. Their kids aren't allowed to use social media whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the way that they interact and speak to people is insane. Like they don't care about what's going on and they're like you'll mention to them about, they're like, I don't know what that is. They're like, I'm going to play this game. I'm gonna go outside.
Yeah.
You know, which is very nice. Like it's very refreshing to see. So it's possible to raise kids without having them look at those social media apps for validation, right? And it's going to be harder and harder for these kids, obviously, when they're the odd person out where they're like, oh, I don't really care. You know, because people are going to want to fit in. When you're young, fitting in is a huge reason to why you even do anything at all.
Right.
Why you say the things that you do, why you pick up certain slang with the music that you listen to has to do with everybody else liking
or what you don't say.
Yeah.
Especially what you don't say. Right. Yeah.
It's just a weird space to be in, man. And like watching how everybody freaked out about that made me kind of sad. And yeah.
I mean, but that's how, like, look, I'm not an influencer. I'm your friend and I get to be on this podcast, right? But that came with a lot of your followers coming through and looking through my social media and then defining me through that, right? And that was, it felt just like people defining me for being the fat guy.
Yeah.
People defining me for being the video guy or having some kind of identification for me. And it made me realize that other people play the game of social media like it's their representation. It's their best foot forward.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't have a problem posting the worst aspects of myself.
Yeah.
That's why I have all those shitty fucking videos from all the bullshit that happened at my store, right? Those are tragedies, man. Like that fucking sucked when it happened to me as it happened. But in the way I was going to play the game of life and how it's represented in social media, I was hurt by this. I was fucking angry by this. But you know what? You guys laugh at it. That will make me feel better, right? And that's why I wasn't afraid to show the worst aspects of my life, because people fucking laugh at it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the best way I can accept it.
That's comedy too.
Yeah, it's part of comedy. It's part of having to deal through these things. But then I'm not going to be out there only posting like a 6-pack that I don't have anymore.
Yeah. It's
you know, because it comes and goes.
And I always hear this conversation too, where I know people who go, oh, I post videos because I do it for myself, right? And I always wonder too. It's like, okay, cool. So nobody watches your videos. You still posting? You still shooting all this content?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Probably not.
Yeah.
You know, and that's okay. That's 100% okay. But you have to be honest with yourself too. You know, you don't have to justify what you're doing by trying to sound like you're cooler than everybody else. Yeah. I know why you're doing this. It's because you like the attention. In order to be an entertainer, you have to like attention to a certain extent. It's almost damn near impossible not to.
Yeah, that's what people might not realize about social media, that you're entertaining other people.
Mm-hmm. It's
you're
not real.
There trying to be an entertainer, but it's not real. Yeah.
It's not real at all. That's the hard part too. It's how do I explain to you? People do a very good job of saying, I know it's not real, but the way that you behave says otherwise, right?
The way it eats at their soul.
100%. And, you know, even for me too, there's comments that get at me, but then I always remind myself, whatever, you know?
Yeah, this, like what I was saying, when we went in on this girl who was being a fucking racist, and then her fans were hounding me on my Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Saying shit like I'm bitch made, and I'm the perfect example of a future domestic abuser or some shit, right? Then I go look at their Instagram and they're like, check out my new Pokemon cards and like, look at my Xbox collection. Like,
shut the fuck up. I get it.
Whatever. Yeah. Like, I'm not worried about you.
I fucking get it.
Yeah.
You know what's so hilarious too? The person that we're talking about, this person's family member hit me up. Okay. Yeah. And they were like, this person's a psychopath. Like, and I kind of like did a little quick look. It's like, this person could just be saying stuff. And this person was a family member. And that person that we're talking about is ostracized from the family because of their erratic behavior and how they treat their family members. Like, they're nuts, insane. And I'm like, holy shit.
So her followers are her new family.
Yeah. And so this person was telling me like, yeah, everything that you said about her, it's kind of crazy how spot on it is. Like, you don't even know her, but what you observed is what we've been dealing with for years. She's been torturing our family for fucking years.
People like that are so easy to read.
Yeah.
Like a fucking book.
Yeah, it's easy. You could just look at this person because we've seen people like this a million times over.
Yeah.
And it's when you, like I said, you see the guy who has the Pokemon card collection, which I'm not knocking on. I love Pokemon, right? But, you know, it's just an example
of him to come at me like he's a hard man.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna beat you up, bro. Like, you just lucky my Charizard don't got chains on it right now.
he fucking throws a fucking Charizard card at me.
Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Well, once again, social media is not real. I know so many couples who are very good at pretending like they're the most perfect couple, but I know how shit their fucking marriage is. I have to deal with it all the time.
It's got to be the worst.
Yeah.
To
none of my friends that you know, by the way, you idiots.
Yeah. But that's got to be so fucking crazy because I don't feel comfortable about putting out an image of myself, you know, that's not a full representation of me. But like, to keep posting that you're perfect, you're awesome all the fucking time. Not only that, you're fucking perfect with this couple. That's got to be the craziest lie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know?
It's psychotic.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you hate this person and hate being around them, wake up to them, wondering why the fuck you're with them? And the next post is, I'm so blessed to be with Jonathan. It's fucking amazing. Every day is like a dream.
Right. So does it make sense when all of a sudden all those couple photos are deleted and they broke up and then there's a post about closing to the chapter, but what about how awesome he was?
Yeah.
You know,
what happened there?
Yeah, you weren't keeping it real with us.
People, I get DMs now asking if me and Mariel are still together. It's like, because I don't post her every day.
You have to be reminded that she exists.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I let her know how awesome she is all the time. I call her stupid every day.
Yeah. This is what I mean. Like, people need this affirmation from strangers.
Yeah, you don't
strangers.
Need it. I don't need you guys to tell me how healthy my relationship is, dude. My relationship is fucking great. You could ask all my personal friends how fun it is to be around us.
Yeah.
We have the time of our lives every fucking day. I don't need to tell you guys that, and I don't need to show it either. I literally don't have to. I have nothing to prove. And I think the reason why, you know, our relationship has been so strong is because we've been dealing with our problems by ourselves. With, you know, talking to each other about it, fighting through it without having to show people that we're great. I don't need to show you that our relationship is awesome, especially at the times when it's not.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I just need to make sure that she's okay and I'm okay. And our relationship has been great. It's awesome.
I would love to see this one social media account where it's just fighting. Couples fighting.
Oh, dude, it would be hilarious. Like, yo, this fucking cunt bag, called my balls small.
But I have seen like a couple accounts. Like, there's a Korean account where this couple, the way they talk to each other is so fucking like they're just screaming and yelling all the time. But then it's like you see over time, like, oh, this is like endearing, but it's so real.
Korean relationship for sure, dude.
Yeah.
I hate you. You're so fucking annoying.
Like, what did I say about that?
Yeah.
like crazy shit like that.
배고파?
Yeah.
밥 먹었냐?
Just if they were keeping it real and I saw some people fighting too, then I could follow, some of that shit. Like, and be like, oh, okay. Like, it would help me as a single guy to understand what relationships are like totally about, encompassing about, not just the perfect part of it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people like, my 동생's telling me about their girl problems, and it's like, oh, because she's so like invested in all these K-dramas, she thinks that a guy should do this, do that, like go to the airport before she leaves with a fucking like huge bouquet of roses.
Man, fuck those shit. Guys, dude. She's like, why do you have pores in your face?
Yeah.
Huh? You don't love me enough to close those fucking pores?
People stop living in a reality because of it. It's like, what if we took away all the sugarcoating and all the glamour and like you accept how shitty things are too, the bad parts of it, but be able to laugh and work through all the fucking shitty parts of it. That's fucking health, not ignoring it.
I think the weird part too is when I see some people treat their significant other very well based on how people compliment how awesome their relationship is. They'll go, oh, you guys are so awesome. I love how like you guys look so good together. And they'll look at each other, they go, oh, like, yeah, you know what? You're the best, babe. Because of the comment. And then it disappears 10 minutes later and they start fighting all over again. It's like, you only felt good because somebody said you were awesome?
Like they're working their relationship out through algorithms.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's like,
that's so true. That's
that
facts.
time I surprised you with chocolates. A lot of people like that. So I guess next time I should surprise her with like a big box of fucking Kit Kats or some shit. Yeah.
And make a really shitty Jason Chen reel. I'm fucking with you, Jason. I love you. Shit. They're doing great, by the way. Yeah. I'm not using them as an example. I just hate his videos. Yeah. His fucking videos it's not even his original idea. He takes them all from like, I remember when I saw his videos, I was like, where did I see this before? He copies Ishyung. She's a Korean actress. It's all her videos. I'm like, you fucking, that's the most Chinese shit you could do, Jason.
Make a knockoff.
Like, even your fucking Instagram's a knockoff, dude. How do you did fucking comedy covers. Yeah. I know you do that with your music. Don't do that with fucking comedy reels, you fucking piece of shit. God damn it, dude.
He's funny because other people are funny.
You 5'2" fuck. I love you to death, bro. I fucking love that guy. He makes me laugh. He's one of like the most honest dudes you'll ever meet, by the way. I think he's like slightly autistic. People like Asperger's or some shit. That's the best.
He's like, oh, what's wrong with what I said? It's like,
Jason's just the fucking best, dude. Jason Chen will say you'll never know this side of him because he's a personal friend. He'll say some outlandish shit and everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And his face is just straight.
It's a matter of fact to me.
The fucking best, dude. If you ever get to be Jason's friend, you'll crack up 24/7. Well, guys, that wraps up this episode of the Genius Brain Podcast.
Oh, I was going to say one more thing about Squid Game, actually.
Oh, do you remember?
Yes. Halloween. It's going to be all Squid Game.
Hey, you're so fucking funny because guess what's in my cart right now? And I couldn't get any of the stuff in time.
What?
Because everybody's ordering all the Squid Game outfits.
Were you going to get a tracksuit?
I was going to be the gangpe, dude.
The gangpe? You'd get a snake.
I was going to get a snake tattoo.
It's all gone.
Well, it's going to take like 3 weeks to come in.
Well, I'm wearing my Squid Game cosplay right now. I'm Ki-hoon after he wins the game. Yeah. That's why I'm growing out my fucking facial hair and this hair.
I'm just going to walk around and hold a bag of marbles.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it.
It's the easiest way to be it, dude. Fuck, guys. Well, that wraps up this episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed that podcast for people out there who are dealing with their weight issues and their personal image. I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into that. You can follow Ed at EdParkVP, and you could follow the Genius Brain Podcast every Thursday and Sundays all the way up until January 1st. After January 1st, it's going to be once a week. Because
you better have those 3-hour podcasts, bro. You gotta have more of those, man.
They're the longer podcasts. We'll make them a little longer, but I got a few projects. I'm opening up that business out in Hawaii. I'm doing another podcast with Tim, so we're gonna split it into that instead. So I got a lot of shit I have to do. I got things I gotta get done, in the new year. But we'll see you all next time. Peace.